Now, what about their lawyers? How did their lawyers feel about this? Who were their lawyers? What do you know about their lawyers? Okay, who wants to speak about Bram Fischer first?
I don't speak about it here, but just know that Bram Fischer was one of the lawyers.
Bram Fischer was one of the lawyers. Who wants to say something about Bram Fischer? Who were some of the other lawyers? Mambadli, sir? Justice De Wet. De Wet was the judge. George Bezos. George Bezos. And who was our first president of the Constitutional Court? Who was the first president of the Constitutional Court and who was the closest friend of Mandela? With George Bezos. With George Bezos. Not George Bezos, there was another one. Arthur Chaskelson. Arthur Chaskelson. Right? So, Arthur Chaskelson was the first president of the Constitutional Court. Their lawyers, and this is important to remember in struggle today, the lawyers must follow what clients want. The lawyers can't say, no, we don't want norms and standards for everything. Let's just do norms and standards for toilets. Right? The lawyers can't say that if the clients want norms and standards for everything. Sometimes it's important to listen to your lawyers because you may not be able to win everything, so then you decide we're just going to do the toilets. But then you listen and go back to your members and you discuss whether that strategy should be followed. You don't let lawyers decide ever for you. You decide based on the advice of lawyers. You decide based on the advice of your lawyers. And when you get a chance to ask Mr. Katharada this, you must ask him about the character of Arthur Chaskelson, the character of Bram Fischer, the character of George Bezos, and there were two other lawyers, Vernon Barange, Harold Hansen, actually three, and Joel Joffe, the attorney. Joel Joffe. Right? So, please ask them how the lawyers treated them and how they treated the lawyers. Does that make sense? That the lawyers that they had were profoundly humble. There are two principles of how we deal with lawyers. Before you go to your lawyers, I'm going to come back to how lawyers must be. The first is how activists must be in relation to lawyers. Activists generally must know more than their lawyers, must learn, not just speak out of, that people who like to make speeches. They must go and learn. They must learn law. They must learn economics, learn politics, learn like the people in tech did science, medicine, intellectual property law about patents, learn how the health system works, right? So it is knowledge that the Rivonia trialists had as leaders, as freedom fighters. And their knowledge was also of their community, of their communities. So the lawyers had very limited knowledge. And the lawyers accepted that. That's the second point we come to. So first is activists must know, must learn. They must have knowledge. The second thing is that you choose the best lawyers, the smartest lawyers. Don't choose lawyers who are, the thing that struck me whenever we went to court against the government, and even now at the commission you can see, the government's lawyers are profoundly stupid. They not only stupid in the sense that they make black people look dumb, they are stupid in the sense that they take political instruction, which is not based on knowledge. It's just what the politician thinks needs to be done. Right? So when TAC went to court on mother-to-child prevention, Mbeki said ARVs are poisonous. You're not going to give them. Don't give in. And these people went to court and argued nonsense all the time, and they lost. They lost. Chaskelson was the president of the Constitutional Court in the TAC case. Right? So the question is that Mandela and them had knowledge, had lawyers who were the best at their job. They were the smartest. They could cross-examine. They could master facts. Arthur Chaskelson could master all the facts. If you put 50,000 pages in front of him, he would learn what's in them. Right? Similarly, Bram Fischer would do that. And Bram Fischer knew the law backwards and forwards. George Bezos was one of the best cross-examiners. Vernon Barange too. So you get the idea. Right? So the important thing to remember is you get the best lawyers. But then you get lawyers who are totally smart and can do all the things I just described, but they're arrogant. They're terribly arrogant. They don't take advice from their clients. They just do what they want to do. So you never take a lawyer who is arrogant. You take a lawyer with a sense of justice and humility and who's prepared to listen to their clients.